This Mobile Geeks video is powered by ASUS.
I'm Daniel from mobilegeeks.com at Computex 2015 here in beautiful downtown Taipei. And ARM has presented some very interesting Internet of Things technology here at Computex. And today I had the pleasure to talk to James Bruce, the Director of Mobile Solutions at ARM.
I'm ARM's Director of Mobile Solutions, so we're really looking at everything from wearable technology through smartphones, through tablets and other consumer compute form factors. And it's great to speak to you.
Well, thank you very much. So what has ARM showed at Computex 2015?
So what we announced yesterday was really the work that we're doing around IoT. So the sort of things that we announced was, first of all, our Cordio Bluetooth LE IP. And what that really means to the consumer is it's making it much easier for our silicon partners to integrate Bluetooth LE into their future IoT or wearable SoCs. And combined with that, we also announced some reference designs that really helps chip partners design either these IoT or wearables microcontroller-based designs. And I think, you know, the importance to the consumer is that as you look at IoT, as you look at wearables, it's a very diverse market, it's a very new market, and there's a lot of companies that want to bring their unique value, do unique SoCs for these devices, and by making it easier for them, it really enables them to come out with the latest cool chip that will actually enable these new use cases that perhaps we haven't even thought about.
What kind of use cases are you thinking about? Well, what's your wildest idea?
I think my wildest idea is actually in some ways very simple. I just want to be able to walk into my house, I've got my smartphone, and I just want to be able to control everything around my house through a simple app, not multiple apps, just one app, and just be able to see, oh, this is the temperature of my house, this is, I want to turn on the TV downstairs, I just do it. I want to turn on power to, let's say, my stereo, I just do it. It's that very simple integration with your smartphone. And then I think the next stage of that is your house just understanding your presence. So when I walk into a room, it turns on the light, perhaps it turns on the TV if it's your living room. Once you actually exit that room, it actually turns off everything. And I think it's that sort of combination of bringing intelligence to your house with that sort of very easy to use control and very easy to set up from your smartphone is what I would like.
So before making this video, we spoke about battery life and how ARM wants to improve battery life.
That's right, especially when you look at IoT type products. I mean, when you're looking at things like sensors, they're actually running off these button type batteries. And if you've got these distributed around the house, you don't want to be changing those every, let's say, month or 2 months. You really want to have some very good battery life. And the whole approach is to look at techniques to extend the battery life. And one thing that we did was look at how you could actually implement one of our CPUs to run off a lower voltage. And what this means is that typically a microcontroller will run off 1 volt. If you can actually get it to run off 0.9 volts, it significantly extends the battery life, because if you look at one of these batteries, it actually has a curve of its voltage. And if you look at the 1 volt, it gets to there, and it's still got probably at least 30% more life between that 1 volt and 0.9 volts. So if you can extend that, it can have a major improvement extension of the overall battery life.
How far could you extend that? I mean, we are speaking of 0.1 volt more right now, or less right now.
That's always a good question, because there is always limits, and I think 0.9 volts is a good voltage to aim for, because all your general logic works extremely well, and your analog can still work well at 0.9 volts. You can actually look at lower voltages. You can actually go to something like called sub-threshold voltage, where you're going to much lower voltages, but then your actual design of your chip actually changes considerably compared to your standard chip design. So the whole advantage of staying around that 0.9 volts is that it still allows you to almost do standard chip designs.
How big is the the processing power trade-off of this 0.1 volt?
Basically peanuts, and to be honest, if you're looking at something like a sensor, you're not going to be running a game on it. It's really just collecting some basic data and then transmitting that data, and you're not going to notice any difference at all.
We were also talking about cores, and MediaTek just has shown their 10-core design. What do you think about cores? More cores better?
So I think the great thing about the ARM ecosystem is that our silicon partners can do what they want to do. They can actually either do an architectural design, or they can take our cores and implement it in the way that they want to. And I think that's really important to the consumer, because what you see is a lot of diversity from our different silicon partners. They're trying different things, and that diversity really drives innovation, which in the end just means that you get better smartphones. If it's a market where there was just, let's say, one design coming out every year, you wouldn't see much innovation. But when you see multiple chips coming out with different approaches every year, you get a much faster rate of innovation. And I think looking forward to one of these MediaTek Helios phones coming to market.